because it's not just in Flint, Michigan, not just Jackson, Mississippi. And you've heard me emphasize, underscore, bold, underline, exclamation point, and everything else I can do with this. Highlighted. Water is a basic necessity, and it is something that we cannot play around with. And so we've discussed the water crisis that is happening in Jackson, Mississippi. We will continue to talk about that because it is just a canary in the coal mine, similar to the Flint water crisis, on things that are happening all over this country. We will continue to push this. Watch this.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer directing state resources after people in Benton Harbor were told not to drink the water over fears of dangerous lead levels.
Residents in working class neighborhoods of West Baltimore are awaiting updates on whether or not their water is safe to drink after city officials announced they found E. coli bacteria in the supply.
Just days after Hawaii dealt with those torrential rains, now a new threat tonight, the toxic water crisis now unfolding. Hundreds of thousands of people could potentially be impacted by this. In fact, residents complaining water from their kitchen tap smells like gas.
Rivers and creeks across northern New Mexico are choking on sooty debris.
We are having the best months, one of the best monsoon seasons that we've ever had, but we can't capture any of the water because of the fire.
The fire. The Calf Canyon Hermit's Peak blaze that started as a prescribed burn in April.
So as you can see from this montage, this is happening all over the country. And before we go any further, let's talk about the Clean Water Act of 1972. The CWA is the principal law governing pollution control and water quality of the nation's waterways. The object of the CWA is to restore and maintain the chemicals, physical, and biological integrity of the nation's waterways. And that's coming from the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management. Has that held up though? No, absolutely not. It's not held up. Crisis moment when it comes to the lack of clean water in the United States. So here's info from a 2021 study from a Consumer Reports and The Guardian on the toxicity levels found in drinking water across the country. Let's take a look at this. CR and The Guardian selected 120 people from around the United States to test for arsenic, lead, and other contaminants. The sample came from water systems that together service more than 19 million people. 120 locations tested across the United States of America. Drinking water from 118 of the 120 locations tested across the US had levels of PFAS or arsenic above CR's recommended maximum or detectable amounts of lead. That's happening all over the country. And we know that children are particularly vulnerable. And anybody who has compromised immune systems are particularly vulnerable. But make no mistake, we all vulnerable to this. Jessica?
Yeah, when I think about issues like this, it reminds me of what the economy is supposed to be for as a system. And it's supposed to be for us managing our resources and labor so that we collectively meet our material needs. When you have corporations running the economy for their own profit, you're not gonna have investment in clean water. You're not gonna have people directing their labor towards fighting these fires and ensuring that we actually have an energy system that is not destroying our planet and polluting our water. And this is the consequence of us not having a democratic economic system, is the decisions that are made are not in the best interest of the people. Water is one of the most basic things we need to survive, and they're not prioritizing us having clean water. It's absolutely absurd. Everything needs to change about how we manage our economy, especially when it comes to things as basic as clean water.
Clean water, a public good, a life-giving force that we cannot live without. We will continue to talk about this on Unbossed.